Gonna start off by saying this video is gonna be a little harder than most for me. It deals with some topics that I'm still kind of dealing with, but I have some advice for people that are dealing with the same things that I think aren't said enough, and things that I've never heard and wish someone would have told me when I was dealing with the worst of it myself. I want to talk about suicidality and depression. Mostly, though, just the basics on how I deal with it. I'm going to give you my mental survival kit to deal with depression. I'm going to start off by saying the reason why I'm talking about this and why I have any kind of authority to speak on it is because I have clinical depression, which is to say, I can feel depressed at any given time for any reason, no matter what my outside circumstances are. And yes, in the past, I have tried to kill myself. So these are things that I do understand at least better than some, and I think better than most. But I can say honestly today, I am relatively happy with the person that I am. Yes, I'm still depressed. I can't fix that problem, but I'm not suicidal. I think not enough people give this advice that I'm about to give you. When I tried to kill myself, after it didn't work out, obviously, there was something that I realized. That I was becoming someone whom I hated. That I didn't like myself because of the social interactions that I was trying to be. I was trying to fit in with the in crowd. I was dedicating myself to things that weren't myself. I wasn't true to myself at all. And so of course I would hate myself because I'm not myself. And I hate everybody except for maybe sometimes myself. So I dedicated myself to be myself. God, this is a confusing statement. But I dedicated myself to be myself. To be the person that I wanted to be. Not the person I thought I had to be to fit in, to be popular, to have friends. I dedicated myself to enjoy the social activities that I wanted to do, not the things that everybody else around me was doing. I stopped playing this social game where I get more points if I like a certain team or like a certain sport or play a certain video game. And that fixed the problem of me hating myself. It wasn't easy, mind you. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my entire life, was to first realize why I wanted to kill myself, but also then to realize what the problem was and how to fix it. And it took some time, but it was definitely time well spent. Now, obviously that doesn't fix all of my depression issues. Obviously there was reasons why I wanted to be popular. There were reasons why I felt depressed. And there are reasons why I let that depression get to me. So that brings me to my second tip, which is talk to people. Talk to anybody. Talk to a stranger. And I know that this seems cliche, but let me explain what I mean by this. When somebody sits there and tells you, calls you up and says, I'm going to kill myself, I'm really depressed, they're not doing it necessarily for attention. There are some who do that for attention, I'm sure. They're also doing it because it makes them feel better. It prevents them from killing themselves, in the sense that it's getting something off their chest. It feels really good to say, I want to die, when it's the truth. It feels good to have some level of sympathy from others around you. And so I encourage anyone feeling depressed to not be afraid to talk. But one of the reasons why people are afraid to talk is because they're afraid of the stigma. And they're also afraid of putting off other people. I'll start with saying that if your family cares about you, your friends really care about you, they'll listen. Especially if you start off by saying something along the lines of, I understand what I'm about to tell you. You can't really help me, but understand that by sitting here and listening, that's all I want. I just need to talk to you. I just need to say some things. Get it off my chest, and if you think you have some advice, I'd certainly like to hear it. And then tell them the things that are making you depressed. Tell them that you feel depressed. Tell them the thoughts you have. And then explain that if you do have thoughts of suicidality, the reason why you're telling them is because you don't want to actually do it. Lastly, if you have no friends or family, then I'm going to put a number down here, suicide prevention hotline. Yes, they do deal with just regular depression. They do deal with whatever situation you're involved in, and if they don't deal with it directly, they'll know exactly who to talk to. And I hate sitting here and giving out this number in this positive, hippy-dippy, they'll help you, it'll be fine. No. But these are trained professionals, and they're there to help you if no one else is there to help you. That's their freaking job. And they're honestly not too bad at it. There's a lot of fear that the cops are going to come to your house, that your parents are going to find out. It's not going to be like that. Unless you literally sit there and say, I have a gun, I'm going to blow my head off, or something along those lines, or you say you're going to kill somebody else, then they're going to keep it private, and they're going to do what they can to help you out. So call the number, if you have nobody else, for sure. Lastly, and this is just the dumbest tip, but it is the most important because it's the one that I'm most guilty of myself, which is get outside. Enjoy this beautiful fresh air. Go for a walk. Get exercise. When you're depressed, one of the things that you tend to do the most is eat, so you gain weight and feel worse about yourself. Stay inside, and you stay sedentary. You don't get any exercise. You're not getting out. You're not realizing the beauty of the things in life because you're stuck inside trying to distract yourself. It's the same as drinking to solve your problems. It doesn't solve your problems. It just numbs you. And then the longer you do that, the harder it is because you delay solving your problems and they build up until they're so massive that the only thing you can do is drink or play video games to distract yourself from the problem instead of solving it. When if you would have solved it years ago, then you would have been fine. That is to say, though, sometimes distracting yourself from your problems for a little bit, when it becomes too much, is a very valid resource. But it is a catch-22 because you can easily allow that to take over your life. So, I guess in summary, I want you guys to truly be yourself, be a person that you respect, talk to people, get outside and exercise, but don't be afraid to distract yourself. Anyway, guys, I want you all to stay safe. If you can't do that, have fun. End of video.